There's a particular silence that lives in old libraries. You can hear it if you listen closely. It's the whisper of turning pages, of course, but it's more than that. It's the quiet weight of centuries resting on shelves. For 30 years, I've spent my life in that silence, here at the Vatican Archives, sifting through the echoes of the past. You think you know the shape of history, the big, loud events, the fall of Rome, the discovery of the New World. But the real stories, the ones that can change everything, they're almost never loud. They're hidden, tucked away in a footnote, a forgotten letter, or, in this case, a watermark on a page that had no business being there. This was supposed to be a simple task. A 15th century copy of Ptolemy's Geographia. Common enough. But as I was examining the vellum, I saw it. A watermark. A double-headed eagle, the symbol of the Palaiologos dynasty, the last emperors of Byzantium. That wasn't just unusual, it was impossible. This book was supposedly copied in Florence, years after Constantinople fell. Why would it be on Byzantine imperial parchment? It felt wrong. A loose thread in the tapestry of history. And my entire career has taught me one thing. You always pull the thread. For weeks, that book became my world. The official text was just a camouflage. The real story was hiding in plain sight. Using imaging technology, we found it, faint text in the margins, washed away centuries ago but still clinging to the fibers of the page. It was written in a complex Greek cipher, one I'd only seen referenced in obscure texts about imperial espionage. It took my team and me another month to break it. And when we did, the silence of the library was broken by the voice of a man who had been dead for over 500 years. His name was Callistos, and he was a scribe in a city on the edge of annihilation. May 1452. The air in Constantinople grows heavy. It tastes of sea salt and fear. From my window, I can see the new Ottoman fortress on the Bosphorus. We call it the throat cutter. Every day, we hear their cannons practicing. It is a sound that shakes the very mosaics of the Hagia Sophia. People pray for a miracle, for the Christian princes of the West to save us. But I have seen the look in our emperor's eyes. Constantine XI Palaiologos is a soldier. He does not believe in miracles. He believes in last stands. The emperor called for me not at the great palace, but in a small, private study. The weight of 1,000 years of Roman history seemed to rest on his shoulders. He did not ask me to take up a sword. He looked at my ink-stained fingers and said, "The walls may fall. The body of our empire may perish. But its soul must not." He spoke of the imperial library, of the patriarchate, of the monasteries holding the wisdom of the Greeks, the Romans, the Church Fathers. Aristotle, Plato, Euclid, Galen, a millennium of thought. That, he said, is the true Rome. And you, Callistos, will save it. Our mission was the empire's last secret, not a treasure of gold or holy relics to be paraded, but a treasure of knowledge. We worked in secret under the noses of spies and doomsayers. We were a small group, scholars, monks, and one trusted Genoese cartographer who knew the secret ways out of the city. We made copies of some texts, but the most precious, the originals, they were packed into 24 plain, unassuming chests. The emperor's orders were absolute. Get them to a safe harbor, a place beyond the Sultan's reach. We chose Crete, a Venetian holding, a place of labyrinths and secrets. Callistos's journal was a roadmap. He detailed the ship's name, the Genoese Falcon. He described the captain. He even included a star chart for the month of their departure. Suddenly, this wasn't just an academic exercise. I could feel the urgency across the centuries. I checked Venetian shipping archives, and there it was. The Genoese Falcon, docked in Heraklion, Crete, in late 1452. The cargo manifest listed Franciscan prayer books. It was a lie. A beautiful, brilliant lie. I had to go. I had to see where the story ended. Crete, even today, the island feels ancient. You can understand why Callistos chose it. It's a place that knows how to keep secrets. The final entry in his journal was a riddle, where the Minotaur's gaze meets the shepherd's star, beneath the floor of the 40 martyrs. It took some local historical digging, but I found it. A small, remote monastery, the Monastery of the 40 Martyrs, almost forgotten by the world. As I drove up that mountain, I have to admit, my heart was pounding. It felt presumptuous. Who was I to uncover something that history itself had chosen to forget? The chapel was cold, silent. The air was thick with the smell of beeswax and stone. The mosaic was worn smooth by centuries of footsteps. We found the spot, a section of the floor that sounded hollow. The old abbot looked at me, a question in his eyes. I just showed him the image of the watermark from my phone. He nodded, as if he were part of a story he was only just now learning. Together, we lifted the stone, and underneath was a dark, square opening, a stone staircase leading down into the earth. I don't think I breathed for a full minute. They were real, 23 of the 24 chests. One must have been lost to time, but the rest, they were here. An entire library of thought, believed to have been turned to ash and smoke in the fires of 1453. I lifted the first codex my hand touched. I brushed away the dust of 500 years. It was a copy of the lost dialogues of Aristotle. In that moment, I wasn't an academic. I was just a man touching a miracle. The world doesn't know about this yet. There are years of work ahead for scholars, authenticators, and historians. But the discovery itself is not the secret anymore. The last true secret of the Byzantine Empire wasn't a place. It was an idea. The idea that even when your world is ending, when the walls are coming down and all hope seems lost, you don't just fight to survive. You fight to save the things that make survival worthwhile. You save your soul. And Callistos and his emperor, they believed the soul of their civilization was right here, in the accumulated wisdom of humanity. They saved it for us. And now, it's our turn to listen to what it has to say.